If you need any Ultimate Team coins, head over to footcoinking.com. There's a link in the description, and if you use my discount code CHES, CHES, as you can see on screen, you'll get yourself an extra 5% off. Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again with another episode of the Dortmund Career Mode here on Xbox One. We're into February now. Of course, yesterday's episode was the entire month of January. We had the whole transfer window in one singular video because, of course, there's a winter break in the Bundesliga, which means we only had one game in the space of 5 weeks. So we had that one game. We were able to be victorious in that one game, and we're heading into this game away from home against Eintracht Braunschweig. Hopefully going to continue that winning form. As you can see, we're still 3 points off Schalke. Every single time we win, they win as well. So they maintain that 3-point lead, but we do still have a game in hand. Now, Braunschweig sit bottom of the table with 4 points after 19 games. No wins, 4 draws. However, they were the team that knocked us out of the Deutsche Pokal in just the second round, so I wasn't going to underestimate them. Despite having a torrid time in the league, they've already beaten us this year in a domestic competition, and in the 15th minute, they went ahead again. Now, we had a 3-2 game against them in the Cup that obviously we were unfortunately on the receiving end of, but after going 1-0 down in this game away from home, I was determined. I am not going to lose to Braunschweig yet again. I'm not going to be the team that gets all the media headlines. Braunschweig's finally win a Bundesliga game against Dortmund of all teams. I was not going to let that happen. And Memphis Depay gets his first goal for the club just 5 minutes before half-time, after unfortunately hitting the post earlier on, as you saw, and the goalkeeper making a save from the follow-up. We finally get ourselves back on level terms, and we headed into the second half hoping to build upon that. And this was a really nice move that ended up with Sterling having a great strike from distance. Good save down low though by the goalkeeper, and he is eventually, or they are eventually, going to scramble it clear. But we maintained the pressure on the goal. They were making substitutions. Another good save for the goalkeeper. Can we get it back in the box? It's kept in by the defender. Attempted clearance only as far as Toprak. Falls to Depay. Great shot. Well saved. Whipped in again, and Yuri Sahin is there to put the ball into the back of the net. Really good determination by Aubameyang, I think it was, to get back to the byline, square it into the box, and Nuri Sahin rises. The Turkish midfielder, or German midfielder that is of Turkish origin, I apologise, actually puts us in front. It's 2-1, and then Memphis Depay. What a finish. He's been a revelation for us since coming in yesterday's episode. £6.8 million we paid. I wasn't expecting him to be this good straight off the bat. I was expecting him to be one of those players that is okay, quite pacey, not really too much of an end product, and was able to just make the counter-attacks and get a couple of assists, but not really have any sort of finishing ability on him. But you saw from that game, the dink finish shows one side of his game, and then that rifled shot was absolutely fantastic. I was delighted with that. Really pleased with Depay. He's actually threatening to get a spot in the first team ahead of Marco Reus and Alessio Cerci. Those boys have definitely got their work cut out now to try and keep the young Dutch winger outside of this first team squad. But they're back into the starting lineup for this game against Werder Bremen, away from home again, unfortunately. We have to travel twice in the opening 2 games here, but Adrian Ramos is going to find a nice run from Alessio Cerci, and if there's any way to prove to me that he should be on the team sheet ahead of Memphis Depay, it's to smash me in front after just 4 minutes. Really tidy finish. Similar, in fact, to that Memphis Depay one, except that Depay's was a run and finish, whereas this one was just a first-time whack. But what a connection. He hit it so true. Really fantastic strike into the bottom corner, and it's Dortmund 1, Bremen 0 after just a couple of minutes. But they came straight back at me up the other end. I was trying to just block the ball as it came in. Didn't want to commit to a tackle, but they do me quite well on the outside here. Ball comes in, Pettersson goes up and actually wins the header, and we're back at 1-1 after 6 minutes. And I wasn't too sure whether this was going to be an absolute goal fest, and if this was going to continue, then there would be an absolutely mental level of goals in this game. But we catch them on the counter-attack again, still in the opening 15 minutes or so. Marco Reus brushes off one challenge, gets the ball to Mkhitaryan, great strike across goal, and a wonderful finish. 2 fantastic goals for us so far in this game. One off the post here from Henrik Mkhitaryan. He started the season fantastically well, scored 4 in 4 in our opening games of the season, and his goals had dried up recently, but that is a great strike. Absolute pinpoint off the post into the back of the net, and it's 2-1. We're in the 20th minute now. Werder Bremen coming forward, and that almost trickles into the bottom corner. Fortunately for the goalkeeper, it just bends away from the post and trickles wide. But it was a great header, great technique. You could see what he was meaning to aim at for that far bottom corner. Great technique on the header. Unfortunately for Bremen, though, it wasn't quite able to come off. And we're going to go up the other end just a few minutes later, just before the half-hour mark. Marco Reus, great strike from distance, well saved by the goalkeeper, though. And Reus has actually not scored as many goals as I might like him to, but he did exactly the same at Chelsea, but still was a very, very good player. And you know, I always found myself starting him just because he was so effective going forward and was involved in everything, despite maybe not getting an assist directly or the goals. He was involved in every single build-up, and he's again going to be involved here. Plays in Adrian Ramos, gets it back to him. Reus tries to dink, but it falls back to Ramos. And again, not scoring a goal, not directly getting an assist, but Reus was involved in the play, and we make it 3-1 to Borussia Dortmund after 31 minutes. So, into the second half we went, trying to extend that lead. If the next goal was going to be crucial. If we got it, you have to say game over, but if Bremen get it, then it really would be game on, and unfortunately we weren't quite able to take the lead or take a 3-goal lead there. A nice back heel from Ramos into the on-rushing Piszczek from right back, but unfortunately his shot was well saved, and he actually gave the ball away here, and that stop from Makaidi plays to Unizovic, and they bring it back to 3-2. But it is the 89th minute. That stop completely sold me. All ends up. Really fantastic attacking play. I might have to use that tactic myself in for future reference. Just stop on the edge of the box when I'm making a run and, you know, send the defender. But they were able to bring it back to 3-2, but they weren't able to get themselves anything from the game. We run away with all 3 points for the second game in a row. And we head into the third game of the episode at home at last against Eintracht Frankfurt. Hopefully we can make it 9 from 9. You'll be able to see in just a second when it comes up on your screen. We're still very, very close behind Schalke, but I believe they are still top of the table. We'll have confirmation in just a second. And they are still top of the table. Every time we win, they win as well, although they have drawn one. So we're now only a point behind with a game in hand. So if we can win this game here, we will go top by 2 clear points. And the opening few minutes were just an absolute melee. You can see how many men Frankfurt are trying to put behind the ball to stop me from getting through. There's 5 or 6 people in the way every single time. And there's 3 block shots already. Churchy's just trying to find some space on his left foot. Can't quite do it. Does get it to Ramos, who has a shot. 3 men in front of him. One of which gets an unlucky deflection off his shin. Hits an arm, and the referee deems this to be handball. I think that's really unfortunate because there's nothing he can do about that. It's just a deflection off his foot. But it is handball in the referee's eyes. We do get a penalty. I'm going to give it to Alessio Churchy, because he does have the best penalty stats of the 11 players on the field right now. Churchy steps up and gets saved by the goalkeeper. A really good save, actually. That was quite high up. And rather than palming it out, he could only get up to it and tip it over the bar. But it was enough to make sure that it didn't go into the back of the net. And we stayed at 0-0. And I was disappointed with that, or perhaps maybe, though, that was justice for an unluckily decided penalty. But fantastic defending there. Great first save from Weidenfeller. And then the block from the second shot from Mats Hummels is world class. To show the positioning sense to be able to get back there and stop that shot from going in really proves just how good a defender he is. But their goalkeeper was on form there. And that ball from Ramos was actually meant to be just a little dink, or a little layoff to one of the guys next to him, and for some reason he hoofed it all the way back to the defence, and that chance kind of petered out. But we're going to get another one here. Henrik Mkhitaryan scored recently in the last game, of course, great strike, but again the goalkeeper was in the way this time around. But it's at least nice to see Mkhitaryan actually creating chances again, because he had a little bit of a dud spell like we mentioned. But we're going to keep the pressure on for the rest of the first half rather, and a deflection means that ball was headed into the back of the net. Goalkeeper couldn't get there, and it was scrambled away off the line. And in the second half, you saw earlier on how many men they were putting behind the ball, and they continued to do that second half. But as my team tired, I really struggled to create anything, and it was one of those games that just descended into a midfield slog where there was just so much possession changing hands, no real chances created. That was the main one of the half. Another good save, and unfortunately we miss out on our opportunity to leapfrog Schalke at the top of the table. We only take a point from our game in hand, which means we do go top, but only on goal difference. It would have been nice to have actually made or jumped ahead of them on points as well. But 10 goals ahead on our goal difference is very, very pleasing. Bayern Munich are pushing their way back up the table. They've moved up from 8th, 9th-ish in the league 10 games ago, on a great run of form. Their goal difference is good as well, 28, so a lot closer than Schalke's, and should they win that game in hand they will only be 5 points behind us. So we need to make sure that we keep up our goal scoring form to stop Bayern coming ahead of us should they catch up with the points differential, and we need to make sure we keep winning games, not only to maintain that points differential over Bayern Munich, but to increase the lead over Schalke in second. But that's going to bring this episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. There will be a My Player episode tonight, as always, in your sub boxes around about 9 o'clock. Feel free to check the description for my schedule so you know what and when I upload. There's also a schedule on the About tab of the channel page. But that's all for now. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We hit 15,000 subscribers yesterday, so I cannot thank you enough for that. You are absolute heroes. And we'll of course push on now towards 16k. If you aren't subscribed and you would like to do so, there's a link on screen and in the description to do so. You'll also find links in the description to my Twitter and to my Instagram if you want to follow me over there, and of course to FootCoin King as well. If you need any ultimate team coins, be sure to use the code CHES so that you get your 5% discount and that they know that I sent you. But that's all for today. I'm all commentated out right now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.